Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make harvestable dead bodies in Survival Game Kit. So to start with, I've just got this character blueprint. It's literally just a character blueprint. I've set the mesh to the mannequin, and I'm going to be using this to show you how to do this. You may have your own AI or whatever else that you want to do this with, but this character I'm going to be using. So I'm going to start by going to the blueprint. Just as a side note, if you're using Smart AI actually has its own video for doing this, so you'd want to watch that. If not, then you can carry on watching this. So I'm going to start quickly by adding the damage system to this blueprint. If you want to find out more about the damage system and how it works, I have a separate video on that you can go and check out. This I'm just going to be doing very quickly so we can get started. So I'm just going to add the survival inventory interface. I'm going to create event damage. Sorry, we're going to compile first. Then we're going to do event damage. And I'm going to create a very quick health system. I actually have a health variable already here. If you have your own health system, then you'd probably want to hook this into that. But for me, I'm just going to set this up quickly so we can get to the actual part with the harvesting resources. So if true, I want to set health to this. If false, we want to set health to 0. So this is going to mean that we have a health system now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new variable, and I'm going to call this dead. And what this is going to do is allow us to know when to start harvesting resources. So I'm going to move this along, and I'm going to drag out from here and do if. So this is probably where you'd want to start following if you do have your own health system. So if we're dead, if we're not dead, sorry, we want to do this code here. And then if we are dead, we're going to want to, probably the easiest way would be to create a new variable from damage cause, and we'll call this damage cause, like that, and we can just set that here. And then up here we probably want to do something like we'll do a cast to melee, master melee weapon, and we can now compile this blueprint, and we're going to head over to the master melee weapon. So we'll go survival game kit, and we'll just search for master melee and open that up. And in here, I'm just going to go to the event graph because it's a bit tidier. And we're going to create a new variable, and we'll call this can harvest bodies. And we'll tick the little I on this, compile, and we'll set this to true. And then we'll set, we want to harvest amount, and we'll set this to an int. And we'll compile again. And we'll set this to say 5. So this will be the amount of resources that the weapon gets each time he hits the body. We can actually do we'll duplicate this, and we'll do harvest amount max. So we can have a random amount. So I'll set the max to say set the max to 7, and I'll set the harvest amount to say 3. And what we'll do is we'll have it randomized between these two values. So we'll compile quickly, and we're going to go back to our character blueprint, and we'll drag out and do can harvest bodies. If you don't see this variable, just go back to the master weapon and make sure you've compiled. And we'll drag out from here and do if, and we will do if true. So now we need to create some variables on here. We want to do harvest item, and we'll set this to a data table row handle and compile. And we'll set the data table to item list, compile again, and you want to make sure you're ticking this I on here as well. So now we can set what item we want when the player harvests this body. So I'm just going to set it to if I can see, raw meat, there we go. And I'll compile that again. Then we want another new variable, and we'll call this amount, and I'll set this to an int, and this will basically be how much raw meat we have on our body here. So I'll set this to like 30. And what we'll do is we'll get harvest amount, and we'll do get harvest max amount, and we'll do random integer in range, and we'll connect it up like that. So next we're going to get our amount, and we'll do this minus this. Is this greater than 0? And if true, we can we'll actually do if. Okay, so next we need to get the player that we're adding these resources to. So over here, I'm going to create a new variable by dragging out from damage owner and do promote variable, and we'll call this character, and we'll connect this up. And then over here, we want to do get the character, and we want to do get component by class, and we want to set the class to player inventory component. Drag out from here and promote actually no, we don't need to do that, we'll just do an is valid like that, and we want to make sure that that is valid, otherwise we'll get some errors. So we'll do that here, and we'll also do it down here. So the top one will be, we need to set this value actually, so we'll drag out from there, do promote variable, call this harvest amount, and we'll connect this here, and we actually want to connect it up here as well, because it will randomize for every pin that it's connected to. So we want to set it to make sure that it always stays the same during this sort of run. So next we need to actually add the resource. So we'll drag out from our return pin here and do add item. And if is valid, we will right click this item in, do split pin, and let's make a little bit more space. We want to get the harvest item, split struct, and drag out from row name and connect up to here. And then we want to get the harvest amount and connect that up to item count like that. Then we can copy and paste this down here. You can actually copy and paste these two as well. And then instead of harvest amount, we want to use amount here like that. And then we can compile this quickly. Oh, I almost forgot, you do want to connect this return value up to the target, otherwise you'll get an error, and then we can compile. Then next we need to remove the harvest amount from our total amount, so we'll do set like this. We want to get it now. So we're minusing the amount we harvested from the total amount. And then down here, we're going to set the amount to 0 because we've run out down here. We want to do, I'm just going to destroy this actor. You might want to do something else, or play an animation, but essentially this is where you would sort of do whatever you wanted there. But for me, I just want the actor to disappear once we've harvested it. So I'll do that. Then we can compile quickly again. So next, I'm going to go down here to where we set the character to dead. You may have like a health system that has an animation that plays already or something else. I don't, because this is just very much an example, but I think I can set it up. So I'll get the mesh component, and I'll do play animation. And if you're following along, you can set this to your def animation that you might have. So I'm just going to set it to def. But the more important part is collision. So when our character dies, we want to set the capsule component to set collision profile name. and we want to set this to dead player, dead and player with one word, and dead and player with capitals at the beginning. So this will make it so we can walk through our capsule component, and then we want to set that actually might be okay, so we'll leave that for now. We might have to come back to it, but that should be okay. So once we've done that, we're just going to add one more thing over here, and we'll drag out from our return node over here, and we'll do client create notification, and we'll connect this up to here. We actually want to do a true as well, so if true from the return value here, and we'll connect this up to true. You can spend a bit more time tidying this up if you like, but I'm just doing this quickly. So we want to do add item, and we want to do the item being, we can copy these nodes from over here. We'll right click the item, do split pin, connect item ID to here, and harvest amount to here. And then we can actually just copy all these nodes, paste this down here, connect it up like this. And we want to copy the amount node instead, connect that to item count, and that should mean we get our notification as well. Oh, we want to plug the target into the return node here and hit compile. So now we should be ready to test this out. We can hit play, and I've got an axe here, so I'm just going to quickly kill our AI. So he's playing his animation now. And if I crouch near him and I start hitting him, we actually start getting our resource. If I open my inventory, we have the amounts in here. It does always seem to be saying 3, which is strange. I might quickly look into that, 1 second. Okay, so I found out the issue with it always giving us 3 resources, and that was just because we need to go to our axe. So I'll just search for axe. I'm going to go to BP axe, and in here, if you actually search for resource, harvest, yeah, there we go. You can see that my harvest amount is set to 3, but my max is set to 0. So if I just set this to 5, it will now randomize between 3 and 5 like that. And then we're just going to jump back to our character again, because our icon wasn't working on our notification, and we just want to make sure we tick the notification image like that. So next I'm going to be showing you, so this is for if you have your own custom, say AI or character or whatever that you want to add this to. But next I'm going to show you quickly how to do this for the actual player character. So if I was to kill another player, I'd want to harvest their body as well. So I'm going to show you quickly how to set that up as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our blueprints folder, then characters, and we're going to go to master character, and we should find our damage node here. So we're going to just move this somewhere we've got a bit more space, like this, and we'll drag this out a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag out from here and do an if. I'm just going to delete this comment. Drag out from the condition and do get dead, and we'll use character dead. And we want to plug this into false, because we want to do damage if the character's already dead. And then if true, we can actually reuse some of our code. So we're going to go back to our character blueprint we made over here, and we let's think, we can probably copy quite a bit of this. So we're going to copy all of this to start with and just paste that in up here. And we'll take these two and we'll connect it up like this. And we'll right click on these nodes and do create variable, and the same with this one. And then character we want to plug into damage owner, and then damage cause we'll plug into damage cause. And we'll straighten this up. Again, you can tidy this up a bit better, but I'm trying to do this sort of quickly for the video. So we'll connect this up here. We want to right click, create variable on here, and we want to do the same for amount. And we'll compile that quickly. And once that's compiled, we want to set our amount to the amount of resources our character's body has. So again, I'm just going to set this to 30. Once that's done, we can actually go back to our character blueprint again, and we can copy the rest of this. So I'm going to do that quickly. Go back to this is now our master character, paste that in, and we're going to connect the top one up to true and the bottom one up to false. Again, we've got some grayed out nose, so we're just going to right click and do create variable and look for any more. That should be it. So I'm just going to click compile. So we're going to select our harvest item. We're going to set the data table to item list, and then we're going to search for raw meat again. And we're going to make a few changes. So down here, we don't want to destroy the actor because Survival Game Kit already has like a system that deals with that. So we can actually just delete that and connect that up there. Well, we could actually keep that if you wanted to. Destroy actor. It might be a little bit better to do it that way. Everything else should be okay as it is. One thing you will probably want to do is go to, let's see, select the player inventory component and search for dead. I think it's there we go, destroy character timer. So this basically is after 5 seconds, when the player is dead, the body will be deleted. We want to increase this to something much higher, so I'll just put mine to 500 for example, and we'll hit compile. So there's one last thing that I just need to correct. We don't actually want to destroy the actor because that will cause us some problems. So what we'll do is we'll drag out from here and we'll do set hidden in game, set actor hidden in game, and we want to tick this. Then we want to get our mesh, and we'll drag out and we'll do set collision profile name, and we'll set this to dead player, spelt like that, one word, capital on the D and capital on the P, and connect that up. And then we'll drag out from our mesh again and do set cast shadow, and we want to connect that up, and we want to leave that that unchecked. So now we're ready to test this out. So I'll compile quickly and then we'll give this a test. So we've got our other player over here, and now we're going to see if we can harvest his body once he's died. So I'm just going to kill him quickly. So now he's dead and we're getting our resources like we should be. And now his body's gone, and we should have our 30 resources. Yep. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you find this useful. If you have any questions or problems, feel free to leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe as well. Thank you for watching.